Hi everyone, welcome to EDSC 532. For those of you who've never met me before, I'm Dr. Jackie Davis and I am the instructor for this course. I'm very excited to be working with each one of you this semester. I'm going to use this little video to just accomplish a couple of things. I just thought I'd pop in with a video to introduce myself to you, tell you a little bit about me, and then just a couple of items that are course related. I will continue to use videos like this one throughout the semester to cover course content and to go more in detail regarding the the assignments that will be due in this course. So I'm currently sharing my screen with you, and we'll come back to this in a few minutes. But that's why this is in the background, so I can show you some things on the course canvas. But I thought I'd start by telling you a little bit about myself. This is my 4th year at UNC teaching in the Early Childhood Special Education program. I moved here in the fall of 2016 from Florida, where I spent all of my life in rural North Central Florida. I spent 16 years in the classroom. My undergraduate degree is in elementary education from Florida A&M University. And after my time in the classroom, I left after almost 16 years to go back for both of my graduate degrees. My master's degree is in early childhood education from Florida State University, and then immediately after I went through my PhD program in early childhood special education at Florida State University as well. So in the classroom, I spent almost 16 years teaching everything from pre-K all the way through high school. I spent the last half of my career, 8 years, teaching in pre-K and kindergarten inclusive settings, and that's where I really found my love for ECSE. So when I'm not at UNC, I live with my mini dachshund, Daisy. Over my shoulder here, you can see a picture that my daughter had made for me for my birthday last year. So that's a picture of my Daisy. She's almost 13. She's been with me for a very long time. Other than Daisy, I have 3 adult children. My oldest son, Jay, is 36 years old. He lives back in my home county, Suwannee County, Florida, with his wife and my 3 grandsons. Tristan is 16, Samuel is 14, and Johnny is 10. I have a daughter who's 28 years old. She lives in Lakewood, where she works as an itinerant teacher of children with visual impairments in Douglas County. And then my youngest son is 26. He lives in Tallahassee, Florida with his fiancée. He's going to get married in March, so it's a very exciting time for our family during this time with a lot of wedding preparations and a lot of excitement. I also have 3 grandpups. Leo and Surrey belong to Dana here in Colorado, and then my pup girl, Ginger, is a beagle, and she lives in Tallahassee with Brian and Elizabeth. So I look forward to getting to know each of you a little bit better this week on the discussion board. I look forward to reading those and interacting with you on the discussion. So I'm going to turn my attention to the screen that you're seeing right now to just go over briefly a little bit of navigation for those of you who might be in your first online class experience. So when you're on the home screen, as you see the hand on the cursor is pointing to, you're going to see the course title and just a banner that's put up there. And then this navigation bar on the left will have all the places that are relevant to you as the student. So if you click on the syllabus tab, you could find the syllabus and the schedule for this course for this semester. The next part is the modules. This is where all the weekly information is going to be. So our weeks in this course will typically, with the exception of this first week, open on Wednesday morning right after midnight and close the following Tuesday night. So that means that this first week will be a little bit longer, opening this morning right after midnight and not closing until next Tuesday night at 11:59 p.m. So for each module after this week that lasts 7 days, you will find readings and any assignment that's due. So this first module that says Start Here has a welcome message, some course organization, technical requirements for your computer, and then some information about Canvas. If this is your first experience, you might want to go over some of those. You would simply click on the first item that will be brought up, and then you scan through, click on any links or any documents to open, scroll down to the bottom, and there'll be a key that says Next. You continue moving through any particular module by hitting Next over and over. If you don't really need to be in that module, you can just come straight back and click on Modules and select another one. So the Week 1 module is open, so if you start on the first link that says Week 1 Readings and Resources, you'll see that the Hooper and Umansky textbook is one of your readings. Watch Your Language article is very good for people first language, and then a case story about welcoming Adam. One thing that I do want to mention, and I'm going to pull up the schedule just to look at it from my files, about the course textbook. Okay, so this week you're going to read Chapter 1 in Hooper and Umansky, which I have provided in Canvas. Next week, for Week 2, there is no reading, so you have all of this week and all of Week 2 through Tuesday, September 11th to get your course textbook, and that should be plenty of time, as in some places that you order your textbook, you could have it in just a couple of days. So I'm providing Chapter 1 in Canvas. I expect that by Week 3, that starts on September 11th, you will have your own copy of the textbook to do the readings. Back to the course. The next thing, we're in the Week 1 module. If you click Next, it will take you to this week's assignment, which is a discussion board. Here are the directions with the prompts for this week. For those of you who have never used a discussion board, you will read to know what you are supposed to reply to. You will click in this box where it says Reply, and a big text box will come open, and you will type your response here. Okay. When you finish typing your entire response, you come down and post and click on Post Reply. If at some point you go, oh my goodness, that's not what I meant, if you look at these three dots right here and click on them, it will bring a drop-down box. You could simply click Delete, confirm that you want to delete, and it will go away. So that's how to move through the weekly discussion. You notice there's no Next button, so you're at the end. There's nowhere else to go at this point. So as the semester progresses, I will add more and more modules with before they're due to be open. The next tab is the Assignments tab, where you can just see an overview of the assignments. Right now, the only assignment that's open is the Week 1 discussion board. This list will grow as the semester continues and other assignments are posted and due. Another way to get to the discussions that you will be having on a almost weekly basis with your classmates is to click on the discussions link, and then you will see that the Module 1 is here. There are a couple of pinned discussions here. If you click on the general question and answer board, the directions are that this is a good place to ask your classmates for questions. So if I'm away, it's on the weekend and I'm away with family or something, and you have a question, you could post your question here. And post it. And then if you see a question, it says post your question here. If you have a question, and if you know the answer to it, please reply to your classmate. At the end, it says, if you do not receive an adequate response from your classmates within a timely period, please send me a direct email asking me the question, and I will respond to you if I've been away from my computer for a little bit of time. I'll also go back in and delete this one. And then if you go back to discussions, there was also, there are some discussion board guidelines. So for each discussion that we have, starting with this first one, you're going to want to take a look at the discussion guidelines and rubric to know what to respond, how to respond. So please read over the discussion guidelines and rubric for the content of what I'm expecting, the dates that they're due, and the rubric that shows how you will earn points for the discussion boards. So that's there for you. And then finally, discussion examples of your initial post and reply to peers. So many people want to know how to earn full credit. So I took previously, hold on just a minute, someone coming in my office, sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Here.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I'm sorry for the interruption. I'm back. So I've provided an example of a discussion post that earned from one person. This was all of their posts that earned the full credit. Thank you very much. That earned full credit in the weekly response. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as the discussion goes on. And my apologies for the interruption. I'm working late in my office and it's just time for someone else to come in and do their job, so I apologize for that. Under grades, you won't see anything here under your view because there are no grades right now. I'm going to leave the student view for right now, and I'm going to show you what the grade book looks like. Of course, they're unpublished, but you will see your name and then the grades for each of the assignments that have been done. And then finally, that might be, I'm going to go back to student view really quickly. You can look at the people in the course if you need to know names. Quizzes aren't there. UNC Library Resources, you can look up different articles and things here as a link. But otherwise, those are pretty much the tabs that you'll use on the navigation bar. I have not posted any announcements. When I post an announcement, a link will come up that says announcements. So if I post an announcement for the class, it will be there. Let me look at my notes to see if I covered everything. I think I did. So I'm gonna wind this first video up and let you know that there will be more. Another thing that I plan on doing occasionally throughout the semester is using Zoom, which is very similar to Skype for those of you that are not familiar with Zoom. So it's a telecommunication tool that we can meet face-to-face electronically. I will be holding some open office hours. I will post those at different times throughout the week. If you can't make it to the session that I've posted, I will make a recording of the session and post it online for you to go back to. But most of the Zoom sessions will be to answer specific questions about upcoming major assignments and to go over the details and the guidelines very specifically and to answer some questions. So when I post those, I hope that some of you can make it, can join electronically to make that meeting. Other than that, let me look over my checklist. I think that I have covered most of, two things I see on my list that I didn't cover. One thing on the syllabus that you need to be sure that you notice is that the syllabus states that in order to get receive a passing grade in this course, you must submit every assignment. So if you see an assignment that's worth just very few points and you think it's not going to make a difference in your grade, know that every assignment must be submitted in order to receive a passing grade in this class. And the last thing I wanted to discuss is the article that you're going to read today, or this week, called Watch Your Language, and it's about People First Language. I do understand that there are some exceptions to using People First Language, specifically within some disability communities. We definitely want to learn what the language is in specific disability communities, but that we all also want to get in the habit, if you aren't already, of addressing people with disabilities using this language. We also, while we want to avoid ever correcting someone with a disability or a family member or a parent of a child with a disability, we do want to honor them, but we also want to become advocates for using People First Language. I notice that I have about 10 seconds before my video time limit is up, so I'm going to sign off for tonight. I look forward to meeting each of you, and I will see you in other video sessions.